It's Kevin Keatsman Uncanceled on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio, 95.7 FM. I'm Kevin Keatsman on a Friday morning. We got a big show lined up for you today, leading you into the Vince Show, coming up at 11. In just a little while, we're going to talk about a site that many of you probably don't follow or know about on social media called Libs of TikTok. And I got to figure out if there's somebody in the Kansas City area that works for them and does something with them somehow, because they are all over. Things going on in the Kansas City area. Most recently, things going on in Johnson County that's basically lost its mind, and we'll get into that. I know Pete talked about Ron Nelson in the Prairie Village meeting and the things that he's saying about Minneapolis earlier, but there's so many other things going on. We're becoming famous nationally with people that are on X and social media that follow news that way. Johnson County is becoming very famous for being an absolute wasteland of crazy liberalism. We will talk about that just a little bit later on. We'll also talk a little Super Bowl with Mark Van Sickle later, and my promise to you today is I'm going to hold myself back. I'm going to restrain myself completely for the entire broadcast. It's my promise to everyone. I'm not going to say one bad thing about Brittany Mahomes being on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say one bad thing. Now, I might point out some things about Christy Brinkley or Elle McPherson or Kate Upton or Kathy Ireland, but I won't draw any comparisons to putting Brittany on the cover of SI. We won't go there. It seems people are so happy for her. All right, we start with this. Congratulations to the people of Wyandotte County. Can I just go ahead and be the first person to congratulate? Probably the most significant thing for quality of life, pure civic pride, national recognition, aerial shots of your community for hundreds of millions of people to see globally someday, and the crown jewel of the city of Kansas City, and that will be the new Arrowhead Stadium. I don't know what they'll call it, but the fact that it's in Wyandotte County, you should have an immense amount of pride. Everybody loves their football team. There is nothing like having an NFL team. It is the gold standard in the United States of America, the greatest country on earth. It is the gold standard of sports, and we have the gold standard of teams, and we'll have the gold standards of stadiums, and it's going to be in Kansas City, Kansas, and Wyandotte County. I congratulate the unified government for voting 7-3 last night to do this. It is an absolute no-brainer. Look, this is really simple. If you want to say Kansas is biting off more than it can chew, knock yourself out. They'll have to figure it out with their $3 billion surplus they had from last year, how they're going to pay $2.8 to the Chiefs over 30 years. But something tells me they'll figure that out. What I know is Wyandotte County is going to pay 1% use sales tax at the stadium and an 8% transient tax at the stadium in the area that the Chiefs have purchased that will be developed, which is between State Avenue and Parallel Parkway, between 126th and 118th. That's the district for the Chiefs. How anybody in Wyandotte County could be against this is beyond me. And I saw a man who seemed like a really nice guy. I'm going to guess if we went and had breakfast someday and a cup of coffee, we'd have a lot in common. And he just seemed like a really good dude. And he said, man, I don't want this. I live really close to here, and I don't want this. You know, if you live really close to a speedway, a Major League Soccer franchise, a casino, a Margaritaville resort, a massive furniture mall, a Bass Pro, and a minor league baseball park, you maybe should have moved prior to the Chiefs moving in. Because I'm sorry, all due respect to all you residents near there, I don't want to hear one complaint. This has been going on for 3 years, and you knew it was a possibility. If you're mad that it's actually happening, why didn't you move? Oh, because now your property is worth more. I get it. I see why you stayed. Some people just like to complain. This is a great thing for Wyandotte County. It's a great thing for Kansas City, Kansas. But they've got real work to do, folks. The real work begins now, and here's what they need to do in the State House and in Wyandotte County. I'm not talking about the X's and the O's. I'm not talking about the dollars and the cents. I'm not talking about the tax and how do you pay it and all those things. I'll leave that to the accountants and all the folks. I'm not going to get into it all. The important part now is, what do we rename the streets? Because this cannot be some ordinary stadium. When you go to Lambeau Field and you see the names of the streets, and they refer to the whole thing as Titletown, and you have all these unique places around the NFL, that never happened at Arrowhead. It's something we don't even think about. We had one Arrowhead Drive. We had Stadium Drive. That's it. We got to get better. 435 West State Avenue, west of 435, should be renamed Legends Avenue because it goes right around the Legends there, which is what the whole area is called, which is perfect. That needs to be renamed. West of 435. Parallel Parkway, west of 435. I've just got some options here. We can call it Championship Parkway, or my favorite is this, because I don't see how the NFL can stop you. I'd name it Super Bowl Parkway because Lamar Hunt named the Super Bowl. In fact, some people say Clark actually named it, playing with his ball, or one of his siblings playing with his Super Ball. And they were all trying to say, well, what should we call our game? And in those days, college bowl games were bigger than professional championship games. And every bowl game was something bowl. And the Hunt kids were playing with Super Bowls at the time. And Lamar thought, well, how about Super Bowl? So not only is his name on the AFC Championship trophy, he named the game. They're building a new stadium. Clark's going to name something after Lamar. There's no question. But how about the main roads? State Avenue and Parallel. How about those main roads? You can't change the numeric roads. We changed them west of 435 to Legends Avenue and Super Bowl Parkway. Then all the roads around there, we find the greatest Chiefs ever. You can have a road for Lamar, Hank Stram, Len Dawson, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. I'm just naming a few. There's a lot. There's a lot of different names, a lot of egresses, a lot of parking lots. Man, this thing, they ought to have trophy replicas in the parking lot of the Super Bowls that have been won. 4 giant trophies, or maybe 5 or 6 by then. We'll see how many it is. Kansas City needs to embrace this stadium and rub it in the face of every other city in America. Wyandotte County and Kansas City, Kansas, step up. Do something nobody else does. Be insanely bold. Be incredibly forthright in your joy and your glee for having this. You should. Ask yourself this question if you live in Kansas City, Kansas. Not from a dollars and cents standpoint. I get the math. Let's poll the residents of Kansas City. Actually, anybody, not just Kansas City, Kansas, or Wyandotte County. Blue Springs, Overland Park, Parkville, any place. Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, name them. Any place. If you polled the citizens today and said, would you rather have the Kansas City Chiefs be located in your town or Apple? What would most people in Kansas City say? This is what's missing. We get all these pundits, all these bean counters, all these people that remarkably are distraught that Missouri lost them, but also mad that Kansas screwed up, which is not possible. We're calling this the Billie Eilish effect. We got a lot of people that have Billie Eilish syndrome in Kansas City. They think Missouri screwed up and Kansas screwed up. That's not possible. That's not possible. They can't both lose here. Okay? So if you just polled Kansas Cityans, would you rather have Microsoft open a big facility here, or ask the people of DeSoto, would you rather have the Panasonic plant or the new Arrowhead Stadium? I can tell you what 90% of the people are going to say, and the politicians know it too. So these weirdos that showed up a couple of nights ago and were screaming and complaining about this and that, these are tiny districts. This is not what Pete's been talking about. Pete's right about this massive state district, and maybe the state blew it. And maybe the state, it's going to cost them money. Maybe down the road, somebody's going to say this football thing was too much. I don't know. But not for Olathe, and not for Wyandotte County's unified government. It's the tiny little slice of land where they're coming. And who wouldn't do that for an NFL team? Well, to think that anybody in Olathe, to have the working place for the Kansas City Chiefs, the business office, the main headquarters of the Kansas City Chiefs, to be in Olathe, Kansas, to think they wouldn't give up a little sales tax in that area and some county taxes going over to Johnson County because the Chiefs moved there is insane. You elect people for a reason. You want them to do that in Olathe. And you want them to do it in Kansas City, Kansas. This is not new. This argument was in the 90s. If you want to complain about star bonds and building things at the Speedway, you're so 30 years ago, man. I don't know what to tell you. You're like a skater boy. Was that when the song Skater Boy, Mark, was out? Was that the 90s? Does that sound about right?
Early 2000s, close.
Well, same thing. As I think the Speedway opened in about 2002 or maybe late 99. But, yeah, the Skater Boys. Oh, the Skater Boys. There you go. They were all complaining. I remember Dave Helling night after night after night on Channel 4. We can't have casinos in Kansas City. We're going to have crime. They're going to be terrible. They won't last. They'll never make it. There'll never be any jobs. Okay. Now they got hotels. And wait until you see the hotel they're going to build near Arrowhead because there's a casino. Oh, my, does this stuff work. And we should be proud of it. We've got to stop being these old school Kansas Cityans, and I'm part of that, man. I used to feel it. I had a chip on my shoulder. I thought Kansas City, you said it under your breath. I'd go on. I traveled everywhere covering the Chiefs. Like, oh, how do you like it in Kansas City? Well, I'm from there. And they go, oh. And now they go, oh, Kansas City. Yeah, they do. They do. And they know about Ted Lasso and all the actors and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. And, yes, Mrs. Mahomes is on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And we're building a palace in Kansas City, Kansas. Way to go. The three of you that voted no on this at the Wyandotte County meeting last night, I don't know you. I don't know what your beef is. You knew it was going to pass, so maybe you were proving a point. Maybe it was simply political. This was never going to be a contest. Whether these cities – I love the buildup. My God, the liberals in this town. The Kansas City Star – but you know what? There's a correlation between the completely far-right anti-tax people that are, basically libertarians. They're just like no tax. Like, I don't like taxes, but I understand that we need taxes. We need them to have a society and to operate things in the proper way. I just don't like income taxes and property taxes. I don't mind use taxes. You want to tax me more for buying a case of Busch Light? Knock yourself out. Call it a sin tax. Go for it. I'll make the decision whether I want to buy it or not. You know where I stand on taxes. But some people on the right were like, oh, we can't do this, that's taxes. And some people on the left, oh, this is so stupid, it's illegitimate government, you're going to run in the ground. I'm like, what? That's what the liberals are saying? Why? Oh, because they went to Kansas, and that was just too much. 913-408-7957. Who's got some names for me about how to rename State Avenue and Parallel Parkway? We got to dump them at least west of 435 because the four-time Super Bowl champs are moving in. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. Little Shabuzi to get you going for the weekend. He got some hot water the other night, Mark, at the Grammys. Did you know that?
What did he do this time?
His parents were immigrants to this country, and he pointed out that immigrants built America. And Shabuzi's black, and black people came out all over the place upset with him.
Really?
Like, wait, the slaves built this country, not immigrants, because the slaves weren't immigrants. They were forced here. Oh, boy, did he take the heat. He said, oh, that's not what I mean. Slaves built the country, too. I think what Shabuzi meant to say was everybody built the country. We all built it. Let's stop looking at skin color or where you're from or whatever. You're American or you're not. Americans built this country. Boom, done. How's that? Does that work for you, Mark?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Of course it does. Sure does. 913-408-7957, the number to call. We start today with Mike in Wyandotte County on KCMO. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Kevin, I love your politics, but on this Wyandotte County stadium, I think you're full of it. I was born in Wyandotte County, raised in Wyandotte County, and still have a $50,000 shack here in Wyandotte County that saw my property tax go up 300% in the last 5 years. And we've got two bridges that are closed currently going into downtown Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas. The Central Avenue Bridge has been down for 5 years. The 18th Street Expressway Bridge has been down for over a year. And how is this going to benefit someone who lives in the inner city of Wyandotte County, 10th and Central? And I challenge you, you love to be out there at the Speedway down in there at Legends. Why don't you come down here in 10th and Central and spend a little time and see what reality is in Wyandotte County?
All right, is that where you live?
That's right, buddy.
Okay, no, I'm just asking. I'm just curious about where you live. And you're telling me your house is valued at $50,000?
No. Now they're trying to say it's worth about $100,000. But I can.
I'm asking you if you sold it today, sir. If you sold it today, what could you get for it?
$50,000, and I'm paying taxes on $75,000. Why?
Why?
Nobody wants
I didn't know there is.
Nobody wants to live in a crime-infested area with graffiti all over the place and drugs. Come down here at 10th and Central if you want to see what Wyandotte County's all about.
Okay, I've been to 10th and Central. I know what Wyandotte County's about. Why don't you move?
Why don't I move?
Yeah.
Why should I move? How is this going to benefit? How is this stadium out here going to benefit someone in the inner city? Tell me.
There's jobs, for one.
Oh, there's jobs.
You're telling me nobody. You're telling.
Let me tell you about those
Mike.
jobs, Kevin. 50% of those jobs are going to go to illegal aliens. I guarantee you that.
Well, not if Trump has his way. Not if Trump has his way. So let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you a simple question, Mike. You sound like you've lived in the same place for a long time. Is that correct?
That's right, buddy.
Property taxes suck, and what they've done to all of us sucks. That's not unique to Wyandotte County. It has nothing to do with the Chiefs. It's irrelevant. It's happened in Jackson County. It's happened in Johnson County. Hang on, Mike. I'm asking you. You've lived there a long time. Do you wish that was all still just farmland out there?
Just farmland.
That's what you wish it was. You've never met anybody that worked there, started a business there, or succeeded there. You don't know anybody that has done well at the Legends that lives in Wyandotte County. Nobody's ever had anything good happen to them from that project. That's what you're saying?
Not the common working person. No. Come on. People like you in the media, sure, you're going to have your suites out there at the new stadium. And inner city politicians with all their friends and cronies and whatever, they're going to have their suites out there. I volunteer at the Speedway for 25 years, and I tell you what, the fire department and the police department in Wyandotte County, it's a godsend for them for overtime, and that's the same way it's going to be at Chief Stadium. I'll guarantee you that.
Mike, I love your passion. I don't know your life. I can tell you in my life, I don't have a suite. I don't have access to anything with the Chiefs. I got nothing. I buy tickets like everyone else. I haven't even had a credential in 5 years. So I don't know what you're talking about, or you think maybe you know me. You don't. That's fine, and I'll say that I don't know you. If you're not happy where you live, my advice to you would be, as a friend, move, find some place that you're happier, and I don't understand why the possibility of these jobs and things that have been created there have made your life worse. I don't understand that, but if you'd rather just have it be a farm field and nothing ever happened there, then I guess that's your right and opinion to have. I think it's been pretty good for Wyandotte County. Thanks for the call. Hey, I appreciate it. We'll just disagree. And I know you live there, and I know you don't like the government, and I know you want better bridges. This has nothing to do with bridges. It has nothing to do with anything. You've already got the Speedway where you volunteered. Why didn't you get a paycheck, man? They got plenty of people that get to pay to work at the Speedway and do things. Look, I know people. I know people from Wyandotte County that started at the very bottom at one of these locations and is now in management, whether it's sports or retail. Or what, you don't think there's some people running the Bass Pro Shops out there that have been there 15 years and started very low, and now they're maybe number 2 in charge? There's been all kinds of careers made out there. I ain't buying it. High school kids work at the movie theaters. No, they brought jobs there for all kinds of people, especially people on the way up that want to work their way up. I'm sorry. We'll just disagree. I think it's been a success, and property taxes suck. Mine suck, too. You know what's a great problem to have? When your property goes up in value and they raise your taxes. Thank you very much. Please, let's keep the property values going up. Uncanceled continues on KCMO. You're just minutes away from your chance to win Post Malone and Jelly Roll tickets coming to Kansas City for the second leg of the big stadium tour. KCMO Talk Radio has 2 chances for you to win every single day. In just a few minutes is your second chance. The big stadium tour part 2 with Jelly Roll and Post Malone July 15th. At Kauffman Stadium, so stick around for that. Mark and I were just talking through the break. It's literally like saying they really screwed up in Jackson County by having the Chiefs and Royals there for 55 years because, there's some bad neighborhoods in downtown Kansas City, Missouri. There's just no correlation between the two, unless, especially, you're a young person and you live in the inner city and you're trying to find a way out from a bad neighborhood or a bad situation. And I'm going to guess maybe the Chiefs should have some sort of a jobs program, a Wyandotte County First. Like anybody that's hired for anything that is for teenagers, young people, day workers, stadium workers, whatever, it should just be flat out be Wyandotte County First. No questions asked. We will fill all these jobs with Wyandotte County residents, and then we'll take applications from other people. They'll do that. This is all good. The opportunity is what America's about. There is more opportunity in Wyandotte County than there has ever been in my life, and I've lived here my entire life. Back to the phones we go, and let's see what Rick has to say in Lafayette County. Good morning, Rick. How are you?
Hey, all that sounds real good, but it sounds like the guy's desperate to get out of the hood, which I don't blame him a bit. He's down there, and he feels like it's insurmountable to get out of there. he's got a home that's worth $50,000 and they're charging him taxes on $100,000. The bridges and the infrastructure are falling apart, and I'm thinking he's thinking about where he could have, the county could, or Wyandotte County could spend the money better and improve his life a little bit instead of putting all that money in the stadium and stuff out there, which there's probably not going to be any transportation or reasonable. By the time he pays transportation to go out there and work a minimum wage job and stuff, and then come home and get robbed that night, and I don't know. I'm just saying those people down there in the hood are.
Man, I sympathize with what he's feeling for sure.
You're not seeing what he was talking about.
I'm sorry?
And I think you kind of missed his point, what he's trying to point out.
No. I know his point, but I don't see – here's what I got from him. So I understand what you're hearing. My take was, and I'm sympathetic to this, I feel bad, was I know people, because my mom was one of them, I know people who want to live their entire life in one house. They want to die there. What I heard was a man who's been in a house forever, wants to die in that house, and really doesn't like what's happened in his neighborhood. That's what I heard. And that doesn't have anything to do with the Chiefs.
Prices of homes in the suburbs and everything else. And he doesn't have a high-paying job, I'm sure. And he can't sell that and move out to the suburbs and stuff and make ends meet. So he would.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a little coy with some of his answers, and it's none of our business what his finances are. I'm just telling you what my takeaway was. My takeaway was this is a guy who's been in a house a long time. He wants to die in that house, and he really doesn't like what's happened around his house. Because I've met a lot of people like that. They grouse all the time about, oh, it used to be better back in the day. All this, nothing good's happened down here. No, most city neighborhoods, and he's talking about the city of Kansas City, Kansas, most city neighborhoods in America just get worse. That's true. And it's happening in Kansas City, Missouri, and it's happening in a lot of places. Where I grew up in Mission, 10 or 15 years ago, thanks for the call, I appreciate it. Where I grew up in Mission is bad. They needed all kinds of redevelopment. There were old people dying. The houses were run down. Trees were falling over, smashing roofs. The crime was up. Mission was not good. Where I grew up, it was not good. And you know what it is now? Next generation of people coming in. They're buying these houses on the cheap. They're remodeling them. They're raising their kids there. The city's got some progress. They built some cool things. And Mission, Kansas actually has some cool things to it now. It can happen anywhere. I can't speak to his neighborhood, exactly what's around his neighborhood. But the Chiefs being in Wyandotte County are not going to hurt his neighborhood. It can only help his neighborhood. I just can't see it any other way. It's maddening to me. Here is Greg in Lenexa. Hi, Greg. You're on KCMO Talk Radio.
Hey, Kevin. By the way, are you stopped somewhere in New Mexico somewhere? Where are you at today?
I am in New Mexico today. Yes, I am.
Okay, how about that? You sound good on the road. So, yeah, that guy, to me, he's just kind of an angry caller. I mean, he's a guy that would, be complaining the Chiefs didn't win by 10 points when they're supposed to win by 17. And I don't know. It's kind of frustrating to hear that. You're right. I agree with you. It's going to help him. And I have been down in 10th and Central. I mean, I work in some areas where I have to go see offices down there in my business. And, it's a little bit rough sometimes looking, with the graffiti that he's talking about. But you have to want to get out. I mean, anybody has to want to just better themselves. So you can sit there and complain about your lot in life. Anybody can. And I'm not judging him, but, I mean, he just sounded like an angry caller about everything. So I thought you handled him really well, by the way. I'm just going to tell you were patient with him. You've been less patient with me on some topics when I disagreed with you in the past. But such as, well, I won't go back there. Anyway, sometime at the –
It's okay.
We'll meet you there sometime.
It's your call. You can go anywhere you want. Okay,
well, to go way back, you had it out for Mark Mangino. But that's another topic on another day. So, anyway.
So I was proven right again.
No, I'm just saying – he
left in a scandal and never coached again. So I was right, correct?
I'm not going to go down that path. I'm just saying.
I'm just asking. After hindsight, we got hindsight here. Mark Mangino was fired in a scandal and never coached again. So was I right or was I wrong?
No, he did coach again. He coached at Iowa State.
Really, where?
He coached at Iowa State. He coached at Youngstown.
As a head coach?
No,
he was a head coach again.
No, not a head coach. But, I mean, he did coach again, but that's a different issue.
He was never a head coach again.
No, not at all.
Yeah, okay.
But, I just thought it was kind of funny. He's just an angry caller. That's my point. Anyway, have a great day.
I agree.
Next weekend.
And I'm sympathetic for him, man. I hope he finds some peace And if he wants to live there, that it gets better. And elections matter. And the people that have been elected in Wyandotte County have neglected a lot of things. And, the real argument I'd make on his behalf is this. We've elected people here that are too concerned about that area and not concerned about areas where the bridges are falling apart and whatever. I think he was trying to say that, and I would be absolutely on his side with that. Those people that are in charge need to take care of dangerous neighborhoods, blight, bad roads, broken bridges before getting the chiefs. I agree with that. But we have that problem everywhere, I mean, every community in Kansas City has things that they can point at and say, this needed to be fixed before that happened. We all do that. That's especially when you elect liberals, you're going to get that. You're going to. Because they don't think about the basic and important things like safety and security and infrastructure. That's not the liberal way. The liberal way is always social. What can we give away to somebody? Give them cash, throw money at the schools that aren't working, spend the money in a stupid way that doesn't benefit the community. It happens over and over and over. It's what they spend it on. And if he wanted to make an argument like that, I'll agree with him all day. I agree with him completely, and I hate to see something like that happen there. No question. All right, next up is Steve in KCK. Good morning, Steve. It's been a while. How are you?
Doing great. Hey, first of all, Kevin, I want to thank you for bringing up the truck driving situation. Man, you're the only person out there talking about it, and thank you for that, because I'm a truck driver out here on the road, and you're right. It's getting real dangerous.
What percentage of drivers do you think out on the road are non-American?
30% driving under non-domicile CDLs, at least 30%. Yep. And they don't have truck driving schools in Uzbekistan or Russia or Ukraine or China or wherever they're coming from, all over India. They don't have truck driving schools where they give instruction.
And I'm going to guess you can spot one from behind. If you're following one, you can spot one. And if somebody tries to pass you, you can spot one. And if you pass one, you can spot one, correct? Without seeing their faces.
Absolutely.
You can tell by the way they drive, correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. If you notice, they're probably pulling their curtains these days. You know, how many truck drivers you got by, and their curtains pulled on there because they don't want to see that turban on their head.
It's crazy.
They think they're going to be profiled.
It's crazy.
Thank you for that. And also about Wyandotte County situation, like you kind of addressed it there. It has been beneficial to northwest Wyandotte County, but nothing's gone west of I-35 and since all this development, and that's the sad part about it. Our governor took back $250,000 for the Cordero ruins because she was spiteful over that commissioner voting with Republicans to keep boys out of girls' sports. So nothing has gone east of I-35.
Well,
and to say just move out of Wyandotte County, it's like move where, Kevin? I don't mind discussing finances. I could sell my house right now and pocket $150,000. But what's $150,000 these days? I'm 55 years old. I can't go start another 30-year mortgage.
Right. No, I understand.
So a lot of
and if you like it where you are, my point is this: they could do a study on this. I'll bet you there's dozens, if not hundreds, of millionaires from Wyandotte County that their first job as a teenager was at the Legends, and they become millionaires.
I would not doubt it. Yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. When you talk about economic development and opportunity, it's one and the same. We can't sit here and create outcomes for everybody that lives in Wyandotte County. What's happened in my lifetime in Wyandotte County was there was no opportunity in Wyandotte County, and there's tons of opportunity now in Wyandotte County for any young person that wants to become something and go get it. It's sitting there.
Absolutely. You're exactly right about that, Kevin. Hey, thank you.
Awesome, man. Thanks for the call. I really do appreciate it. That's really good stuff. All right, I did want to touch on this thing that I briefly mentioned at the start of the show. I follow on X something called Libs of TikTok, and basically it's a bunch of liberals that get on TikTok and make videos and get fired from their jobs. TikTok's fired more liberals than any media platform in the history of the world. It's usually a nurse or a teacher, a white lady nurse or a white lady teacher, goes on and does something outrageous, and they post it on TikTok. And all this account was on X was pulling crazy people off TikTok and posting it on X. And then people on the left wanted to shut down Libs of TikTok, saying you can't do that. And Libs of TikTok's like, well, all I'm doing is taking the crazies and showing them over here on this platform. Well, millions of followers later, it got bought up, I think, by Babylon Bee or somebody. Libs of TikTok, I don't think is just the one person anymore. It has been so focused on Kansas and Johnson County recently, it's crazy. This is a global thing. And they're making Johnson Countyans, well, they're making us look like the idiots we are for electing the people we have. That's what Libs of TikTok is doing. It's the Lord's work. the Libs of TikTok is doing, and it's fabulous. We saw this nonstop in a video that was posted yesterday at an LGBTQ open forum at a Johnson County library in Gardner, where Kristen Schultz was speaking. She's running for the Kansas Senate. Now, that's Topeka. That's not national, okay? She's running for office, and she's crazy. And so this man shows up with a camera, in an open forum and asks her if she believes it's okay for boys to change their clothes and go to the bathroom in the girls' bathroom or locker room. And she won't answer the question, and he presses her on it. And he presses her again, and they mention one particular student in one particular school. And she says, I can't speak publicly about that because of da-da-da-da-da, protection law. And the man says, oh, no, they've already admitted it. The person's already admitted it's public record. It's out there. We can talk about it because they've already done it. And the lady still won't answer the question. Then a police officer comes over, wants him to leave. He's being very nice to the guy. And an off-duty cop comes over and gets so frustrated, he bumps this dude on camera. And you're like, uh-oh, that could be assault. I don't know where this thing's going, but it's got like millions of people have watched this happening in Johnson County with crazy people. They tried to block him from seeing the proceeding with a giant pride flag. I mean, Johnson County looks like the biggest freak show in America. This happens at the same time Libs of TikTok is posting these Prairie Village council meetings with this Ron Nelson guy. And if you've listened to him or watched him, forget what he says, because he's crazy. He just wants everybody to know we support Minneapolis. ICE is awful. Trump's the Gestapo. He's a Nazi. You know the person. But when you watch him speak and listen to him speak, you want to put him in a chair and take him like to an old folks home. Like, you need help, dude. You can't form a sentence, and you got elected in Prairie Village. You can't speak to listen to him. Pete was playing clips earlier today. I wanted to slit my wrist. He was so bad. Forget what he's saying. It's like, who's this brain-dead moron that's in the Prairie Village Council? Oh, just another guy that the Democrats wanted in there. Because, of course, they're like the crazier the better. In white bread, Prairie Village, let's get the craziest people ever. And this guy can't even talk. Like, seriously, I wanted to get him treatment. I'm watching these videos of this guy and listening to him. I'm like, could we get him to a hospital, please, and see if he's okay? These are the people that are getting elected all over Kansas City in our local elections. I can't scream this loud enough. We've got to put Democrat and Republican by their names on all the ballots, and we've got to get involved in local elections. It's ruining our city. They've got a plan, like the illegal aliens coming across the border. If you live anywhere in the burbs outside of, they're from Kansas City, Missouri, out. They're so blue, they're spreading, they take Prairie Village, they're moving out. You know they're doing this, and they want it in your community. They want your schools, they want your children, they want you to stop going to church, they don't want you to get married and have kids, and they dang sure don't like you if you're white. It's true, and they're coming after everyone. And this guy's got some kind of, I don't know, man. God bless him and help him out. All right, I'm going to relax a little bit during the break here and bring Mark Van Sickle in. We're going to let you know our thoughts on Super Bowl 60 on Sunday, and I've done so well not saying anything about Brittany Mahomes being on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I am sticking to my word. KCMO's Uncanceled continues after these messages. Mark, my good friend Stan Weber, who you've worked with, he's filled in and hosted this show before and is my resident football analyst. Our final football feast of the year is up at my podcast, Kevin Keatsman Has Issues. If you ever want to hear more of this show, when it's over, just go to kkhasissues.com and hit the play button. You can hear today's episode. Stan is my guest, and we're talking Super Bowl. He has a board game he invented about 30 years ago. Stan's an accountant by trade, math guy, smart guy. He takes all the stats from every team in the NFL from the entire regular season, and then all offseason he and his buddies play this board game. You roll the dice, you call a play, you do the whole thing. It's called the SFL, Stan's Football League. I need to take you to Stan's house and do this in the offseason. You can have Seattle and pick any team you want for me to coach, and we'll play against each other. Would you be interested in doing that?
That sounds fun to me.
I know. I think of you every time. So Stan has played the Seahawks and the Patriots multiple times. His game is insanely accurate. He has his buddies over. They've played a bunch. And if you want to find out what his board game is saying, who's going to win the Super Bowl, go listen to my podcast at kkhasissues.com. It's pretty good. He's got it as a high-scoring game. Do you think it will be a high-scoring game?
Not initially. I feel like it's going to be a slow start and then maybe second half pick it up a little bit. But, yeah, I think it'll be a little more low-scoring.
Isn't there something to NFC West games that they typically do that, and then you're thinking, oh, this has got 17-13 written all over it, and the next thing you know, it finishes 38-35?
Exactly. Take the first half under and then live bet the over.
Okay.
That's
very
my
good
prediction.
I love that. Did you see the comments of Eric Dickerson, the Hall of Fame running back, about Bad Bunny?
I did not.
Bad Bunny's doing the Super Bowl. Eric Dickerson said a couple of weeks ago, this is bad. He said, quote, keep his ass where he's at. Eric Dickerson said that. So TMZ caught Eric Dickerson at the San Jose airport yesterday arriving for the Super Bowl, and they asked him if he changed his mind about Bad Bunny in the halftime show. And Dickerson said, quote, hell no, absolutely not, man. And he went on to say, that guy can sing in English. He doesn't need to sing in Spanish at the Super Bowl. Woo! What do you think of that comment?
Let's go, Eric. All right.
I mean, really, it's like, I've told you the reason they're doing this is for global appeal. I think we all know that. And they don't mind. The NFL doesn't mind all this hype leading up to this thing at all. So I'm going to give you my prediction here, buddy. I'm going to be a contrarian here. I'm going to go 27-23 Patriots in this game, and that 23 exists because the Seahawks are going to miss an extra point. What do you think?
I've got the Seahawks winning 24-20.
I'll take that because I'm gonna play New England plus 4.5, buddy. So I think I'm on board with that. I'm down with that. I can go with that. This should be a great game. What do you have special planned for this because you're a Seattle Seahawks fan?
You know what? The wife said I could just go out to a bar and watch it with a buddy, so I might take her up on that.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How great is that? Well, you should be sponsored. It should be free. You're going to be talking about this.
That's
what
true.
What sports bar wants Mark Van Sickle? Call 913-408-7957 and comp his tab, and he'll talk all about his experience on Monday.
There we go.
You're up for that, right?
It'll be fun.
Good luck, Seattle. If you win by 3 or 4, okay?
That sounds good to me.
Have a great weekend, my friend. And to everyone listening every day on KCMO Talk Radio, The Vince Show is next. Have a great Super Bowl weekend, everybody.